All right. Hi friends, welcome to today's video, which is the last video of Vlogmas. Today we've got a big one. We are going to be tier ranking every book that I read in 2023. So according to my Goodreads book challenge of the year, I've read 101 books, but I don't think I have 101 images, so I don't know where my Goodreads and my brain are not connecting. So our tiers today, at the very top we have I think about this daily. This is for books that I think about daily. Orange is definitely glad that I read this. I remember reading it, I loved it, I'm very glad I read it. This little middle one is, yeah, it was good. I'd recommend it to people who like that kind of book, but it didn't wow me. Yellow is, I thought about this, but not in a good way, it stuck with me for negative reasons. And at the very bottom is, I read this, because I feel like the worst is when you see a book and you're like, I read that, I don't remember anything about it. So let's get started. All right, Things We Left Behind. This was the third installment of the Knock 'Em Out series, and I'm going to put it in, yeah, it was good, because it's my least favorite of that whole trilogy, and I don't really like the couple, but you know, you do what you want. Okay, Love Redesigned. I finished this a couple of days ago, so I'm just going to put it here. I can't say that I think about it daily, because I have thought about it daily, but it's only been 2 days, so that doesn't really count. Okay, Crooked Kingdom is the second of Six of Crows. So Six of Crows is in here somewhere. Let's go ahead and do Six of Crows. Six of Crows, I think about daily. I am obsessed with that cast. Crooked Kingdom, I'll put in definitely glad I read this, but I do think that the first Six of Crows is the best of the two. The Bully. I've thought about this, but not in a good way. That's the one where the girl was like, he bullied me, but he really didn't in high school, and then she is so mean to him. Good Girl Complex. I read this. I don't remember reading that. I mean, I own it, and I can acknowledge that I definitely read it at some point, but I can't tell you anything about it. Cute cover though. Juniper Hill. Definitely glad I read that. That's the second book in the Eden series. That's the one with Knox, the chef, and the single mom. There's so many and they stick together, but this couple I think was my favorite in the whole series. Love Theoretically. I think about this daily. I mean, that's a hyperbole, but I think about it a lot, and I loved that book. Jasper Vale. I think this is the accidental marriage one. So yeah, it was good. I liked it. The Bluff. That's a Calamity Montana book. I'm going to put in, I remember that I read it. It's not that I don't remember that I read it. It's just, I read a lot of books. Sweet Strings. Yeah, it was good. The Brawl. I read that. Indigo Ridge. Oh my gosh. Okay, actually that goes here. That's the first in the Eden series, so they might be my favorite couple. That book was chef's kiss. So good. So you know what, we're going to put Juniper Hill up here too, because I do think about those two couples a lot. Favorite Half Night Stand. I've thought about this, but not in a good way. I hate it. Her Grumpy Neighbor Until Halloween. That was good. It had a really good grand gesture situation. Oh, The Brood was good. I'll put in definitely glad that I read this. This is also me assuming that I'm remembering, because they all start with the B, and so I can't remember the difference. I'm pretty sure that that's the one that I really like. I think that was the second book in the series. I read the Inheritance Games this year. Okay, I think about that daily. Finley Donovan Is Killing It. I mean, yeah, it was good. If you like that style of book, I'd recommend it, but it wasn't my favorite. Love in the Time of Zombie Apocalypse. Definitely glad I read that. I don't think I think about it daily, but it was Cartographers. I'm definitely glad I read that. I feel like it introduced me to a new style of literary fiction and supernatural elements that I'd never read before. Burned. I read this. I only remember what this book is about now because I did a video of my least favorite books and I gave that 1 star. 9 Lives, oh my gosh. I'm going to try and reserve the top for like really good ones, but 9 Lives by Peter Swanson is a great thriller. Magnolia Parks, think about it, but not in a good way. It kind of destroyed my life and I lost all faith in humanity. Garnet Flats, I thought about this, but not in a good way. I'm 80% sure that this is the one where the guy dumped the girl and then married her best friend and then came back after the divorce, and it's just, I just don't understand. Like, I think the couple, like, I think they're tight. I think they're good, but just like the situation, I don't know. Throttled, I read this. I read it and it was good. I read it and it was good, but I don't even remember anything about it. Wicked Deceit, glad I read this. Let's go ahead and put all those books. Tangled Truths is the second book. So the first book is Web of Lies. I think about that daily. The second book is Tangled Truths, which struggles from middle book itis, but is fine. And Wicked Deceit is the conclusion, and it was so good. This Bitter Earth, I don't remember what that was about. But I think I gave it high, but I don't remember. Icebreaker, definitely glad I read this. I feel like it's an unpopular opinion, but I really liked that book. Twisted Hate, thought about this, but not in a good way. Lessons in Chemistry, I'm glad I read. That one was kind of hard for me to get through, but once I got there, I was like, yes, this is good. Iron Flame. I thought about this, but not in a good way. If you've watched my videos, you know I'm not a big fan of the way that book happened. There Are No Saints. I thought about this in a bad way. I can't unscar myself from what happened as I read those pages. The Brazen. I read this. I don't remember which one that's about. The Corpse in the Closet was good. Twisted Games, I'll put in, definitely glad I read this. That was my favorite book in the Twisted series. Things We Hide from the Light is the second in the Knock 'Em Out series, and it was good. It's not as good as the first. How to Love Your Neighbor. I read that. Looking at it now, I'm pretty sure it's about a guy who's trying to buy her house. We're not even gonna try. Too Beautiful to Break. I read that. I don't remember. Secretly Yours. Yeah, it was good. I think the couple was really cute and it was a really smexy book. The anonymity, secret crush and secret letters, I'm not a big fan. Court of Wings and Ruin. Oh dear Lord, I think about this every day. I actually got a book craving for that today, and so I read a couple chapters that I was craving, and I made myself cry. Perfect Marriage. It was good. I think I'm a very easy person to please with mysteries because I don't really try to solve it. So I liked that. Final Offer. I'm glad I read that one. Yeah, I'm glad I read that one. Say You Swear. It was good. I feel like I kind of need to reread. Here's the thing. There's a trope in this, and that trope is amnesia. I can't handle it. I can't handle the amnesia. It's a terrible trope. Terrible trope. I hate it. Riley Thorne, The Dead Guy Next Door. That's going to go in definitely glad I read this. That's the first in the Riley Thorne books, and I love that little series. It's so cute. Crimson River, I'm glad I read that. Is not the most recent one to come out from the Eden series because one dropped last week, but the one before that. And I loved this couple in this story. I thought it was so good. Court of Mist and Fury, every single day. Loath to Love You, it was good. Divine Rivals, I'm definitely glad I read it because I was hesitant to read it, but I'm glad that I did. The Front Runner, yeah, it was good. That's from the Gold Rush Ranch series from Elsie Silver. Dear Worst, it was good. It was fine. The No Show was fine. Once Upon a Broken Heart, I'm glad that I read that, and I really need the other one to come out in paperback. Photo Finish, I think about this in a negative way. I can't handle that book. I can't handle Violet. I think she's a terrible person. The first Crescent City book, I think about this daily. I did finish it a couple weeks ago, so it is kind of recent, but I think about that every day. Things We Never Got Over. I think about it every day. I love that book. I had a book craving for that the other day too. The Deal. It was good. I didn't keep reading that series, but Assistant to the Villain. Yeah. Wait a second. Off to the Races was good. Okay. That's the first one and that's the third one. Same thing. Pride and Premeditation. I read that this year. I don't remember that. Bitter Notes was fine. That's the first one to Sweet Strings. That's a little duology that's like tied to the Web Flies. Meant to be. Thought about this, but in a negative light. I didn't really enjoy it. Cold World. Definitely glad I read this. I thought it was just going to be like a cute romance, and it was, but I was sobbing. Happy Place. I think about... Okay, sorry. My battery died. Where were we? I think we were talking about Happy Place. I thought about it, but not in a good way. It's my second least favorite Emily Henry. I really didn't like People We Meet on Vacation either. I just felt like the whole book was a miscommunication trope. Oh my gosh, let's all be so proud of me. We're like getting through this and I'm not over talking. It's only been like 13 minutes. You Again, definitely glad I read this. It's a 5-star read, but I don't find myself thinking about it daily. But I really love it. The Only Game in Town. I read that. I don't even know. I think it was kind of like the Inheritance Games, but a romance where they had to like play a game for money. Anyway, The Flat Share. Okay, I don't remember reading it. If I have to think that hard. Silver Flames. I thought about it, but not in a good way. It is not canon to me, and it upsets me. The only thing that's canon is like the Valkyrie part and everything about Cassian that's not related to Nesta. Twisted Love. I'm glad I read it because I feel like I can like be part of a conversation now that I couldn't before, but it scares me a little bit. Oops. Okay, Hopeless is the most recent in the final Chestnut Spring series. Glad I read it. I love that series. By a Thread. Glad I read it. A False Start. Oh my gosh. False Start, like this is a sleeper pick. It's the last book in the Gold Rush Ranch series. And the two characters like so off the tight group that you're in. But oh my gosh, this romance was everything to me. Night Shift. It was good. It was cute. Quarter Thorns and Roses, I think about it every day. Fourth Wing, I think about it every day. Soulmate Equation was good. I feel like it didn't stand out to me the way that I felt like it should for how popular it was, and I only really read it because I want to read True Love Experiment. Trust and Lies, I read that. I went through a huge fanfiction phase, obviously. Okay. Out of Zion. This isn't like, I don't want to like discount this person's experience, but reading that book, it was kind of like an autobiography and it just didn't give me what I went to the book for, which isn't really her fault. Reckless, definitely glad that I read it. Brutal Prince, I don't even remember what that was about, but I remember not liking it. Piano Man, this is oh my gosh, definitely glad I read that. That's a Theo and Hermione fanfic and it was so good. The Final Gambit. You know, I'm going to put both of the follow-up books for Inheritance Games in. It was good because I do think that the first one is just blow your mind fantastic. And the rest is fine. I don't like the romantic ending of it, but that's just me. Twisted Lies. I'm glad I read that. That's the last book in the Twisted series, and it's one of the two love interests. It's Christian and Alex Volkov that are like morally gray in a violent way, but for some reason he rubs me a better way than Alex. I think the stalking part kind of. The Bribe. This is the first The Calamity. Oh, it's so good. Okay, we're gonna put that in. Definitely glad. Okay, this is getting so big. Definitely glad I read that. It was cute. It was cute. Final Girls, Riley Sager. Glad I read that. That was full of twists and turns. On the Nature of Daylight was good. I don't like fully remember the entire plot, but I remember bits and pieces. Mistborn, honestly. Oops, how do I get up here? Nope, it doesn't go there. I think about it daily. There we go. Oh my gosh. I think about some of these characters on a daily basis. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Definitely glad that I read this. I've said before that this piece of fiction is a work of art. It really dives into like the human experience. I mean, that kind of sounds dramatic, but it's true. Draco Malfoy and the mortifying ordeal of falling in love. I think about it daily, and I'm not gonna lie, I think about it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Such a good fanfic. Okay, Heartless. I'm gonna put Heartless up here. That one's grown on me. You know what's so funny? I actually had that craving this morning when Nathan was leaving for work. I was like, can you bring me Heartless? I just have to read a couple of scenes. And I feel like that book grows on me with age because, I don't know, Cade grows on me. Flawless, I think about it every single day. That's my favorite book in the series. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay, here we go. Maze Runner, I'm glad I read it. Scorch Trials was good. The Death Cure, I don't remember none of what happened in that. I only read the trilogy. Nathan read the fourth one that's kind of like a prequel, I guess, and I didn't have any interest. They Never Learn. I'm glad that I read this one because it was actually a blind date with a book, so I would never have like picked it up by myself, I don't think. But oh my gosh, the twist in that book blew my noggin out of the water. Oops. Measure of a Man is another Hermione fanfic that I think about every day. I think about Draco and Hermione and Scorpius, and oh my gosh. That is longer, that fanfic is longer than War and Peace. Fair warning. Powerless, yeah, it was good. Powerless is probably my least favorite of the Gold Rush, the Chestnut Spring series. Yeah, it's probably my least favorite. Friends to lovers for me is kind of a hard trope for me to get behind. That's part of the reason I didn't like People Who Meet on Vacation. The friends to lovers, it's just kind of like, you guys went like, 35 years or something without communicating? And now I'm just supposed to expect that everything's good now? I don't know. I liked both of the characters. Wait for You by Jennifer L. I think Armount? I don't remember reading that book. I remember zilch about that book, to be honest. You guys, I'm actually so proud of myself. I thought if I talked a lot, I was gonna have to film this, it'd be 45 minutes, but I'm kind of killing it right now. This is probably gonna be under 20 minutes. So, here's our final chart. Looks overall like I had a pretty good year. Most of the books were good. There's not nearly as many books that I forgot what happened in them as I thought. Wow, I had a good year. I'm very proud of myself. My goal was 52 books and I read 101. Well, friends, that is the end of Vlogmas Day 24. Merry Christmas Eve. I hope that you liked Vlogmas. I hope that you enjoyed all of these videos, and I won't see you tomorrow, but I will see you next month, probably. Bye!